Oh, Lord. Man, before you say something sometimes, you're going to get in so much trouble for this one. Oh, it's not funny. It's not. I can't stop laughing sometimes. Y'all, South, they bringing back slavery, y'all. We in the South. I'm not sure where we are. This might be Alabama. I'm not, well, no. Kind of look like Georgia. So apparently, slavery done came back, y'all. See, that's why you got to watch the news. If you don't watch the news, they bring slavery back and you don't know. You got to watch the news. I think is this Alabama? No, it's not Alabama. This might be South Carolina, y'all. We got the brought slavery. No, it's not South Carolina. Hold on. I have to look a little. Is this New Mexico? Kind of looking like there might be some slavery in New Mexico. I think that. Oh Lord. Okay, so people might not want to watch this one. You might want to go watch something else this morning because we're gonna get in trouble today. It's hard to talk about some of the truth without putting some names out there. But y'all see all these rednecks here? They got the rednecks, the Southern slave. Y'all see them? Y'all see it? Look, I think Robert E. Lee hiding back there somewhere, y'all. They got the slaves. They got them up in the truck, and it's not even a conspiracy anymore, y'all. This is big time now. This is why I think they wanted to blame everybody in the South for slavery again, because they knew they were going to get caught. They knew probably. So when did they knock Gaddafi off? We came, we saw, we killed him. When did they knock him off? It was like, I think 2011, they started bombing him, knocked him off 6 years ago. And probably about 3 years ago, they realized what was going on. And they realized, uh-oh, y'all, we done kickstarted slavery again. And so, and I'll be nice. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna say it a good way. So you have what are called liberals. All right, y'all, the liberals, and a lot of my friends love them to death. Good people, solid people, good in the heart. But sometimes you get too extreme liberal. You kind of make friends with people you shouldn't have in leadership. But this is what I believe. This is my firm belief. The liberal leadership ain't a damn thing liberal about them. The people, good people though. Conservative leadership ain't a damn thing conservative about them. The who else we got? It's a whole bunch of y'all groups. I can't keep up with y'all, but I think those are the main two. But somebody didn't turn slavery back on. It's big time now because CNN even called them out. When CNN calls you out for being a slaver, oh my gosh. So in CNN, they released a video. You go see it online where they actually captured open air slave auctioning happening. And why is it big news now? Because now the UN and everybody else is talking about it. So what do we do? So about 3 years ago, they probably got together and they were like, you know what? It's a bad thing if they find out we restarted like total slavery. Like slavery never ended. They always had the 13th Amendment slavery and they always had slaves going in. Because if you don't know, the 13th Amendment, it was just about saying, okay, slavery is just not for dark-skinned people. Slavery is for everybody. And they started walking everybody into slavery again. So slavery's never stopped. But now it's so in your face, open air slave marketing where people are taking pictures and they're selling slaves all over Libya because people running all out of Africa and the Middle East to go to Western Europe. And then you got Italy. What's wrong with Italy? Italy, y'all crazy. I love y'all. Y'all crazy. So Italy, they're paying the militias to keep the slaves in Libya or to keep the migrants in Libya. And that's what's fueling all of the gangs that are grabbing the slaves and selling them to the West. But anyway, I'm off. I already started talking. Good morning, Terry. Mary, how you doing this morning? Lori, Mary, Marilyn, Grace. Okay, everybody's up this morning. Angela, Grace. We're going to talk about some tough stuff today. We're going to get a little tough today. We might have to pull a punch or two. Yeah, it's a huge tragedy-ish, but I think they knew it was coming. And that's why they started knocking down statues because they wanted to get people focused on the South and not focused on the North slave. All right, so anyway, Brother Robert, how you doing this morning? Kimberly. Okay, so we got some people in the house this morning. Okay, so CNN released that. Oh, let's go back. Let's watch the news a little bit. Because y'all think I might be lying. Everybody's lying today. And one day I might be lying. I might be lying. This is why you can't trust nobody. Don't even trust me. If I say something that don't make no damn sense, again, it's because the CIA, they got my kitten or something. They got a gun to his head and they making me say something. Don't trust anybody. Always ask for the evidence. So anyway, let's take a look at the news.
It was the host of the summit, the president of the Ivory Coast, who set the tone. Alassane Ouattara said it was totally unacceptable that in this day and age, refugees were being traded as slaves in Libya.
This disgraceful drama reminds us the darkest hours of humanity. I call on our collective sense of responsibility to take urgent action.
Many refugees in Libya are in detention centres where conditions are appalling. Others are bought and sold by those with little respect for human life.
The slave trade in Libya has shocked and embarrassed leaders in both Africa and Europe, and it has injected a sense of urgency into this summit.
We have to fix a series of very critical issues and atrocities like in Libya, and that's why I want to finalize before the end of the summit a very concrete initiative between the African Union and European Union.
Leaders on both sides are expected to launch a plan to address the situation by the end of their meeting. But the United Nations...
They ain't going to address it, y'all. They are not going to address it. And why am I sitting here? People wondering, why in the hell is this dude laughing about slavery? Why is he... I'm not laughing. I'm happy. I am ecstatic. I am ecstatic that the truth is finally starting to come out. I am ecstatic that people are actually finally starting to see the people you support don't give two damns about you. They don't give two damns about slavery. They talk about it because they know you care about it, but they're the biggest slavers ever going. And first of all, nobody in the EU is going to do anything about it because you can't do anything about it. Why? Because all the slavery that's happening in the world is happening for reasons that they can't do anything about. Let me show you. This is why all the slavery in the world happens. And it's not going to stop. There's nothing you can do to stop it. Because the people who fund all of this are the people who need all the minerals. They're the people who need all of this. And so what we were talking about, but more specifically, is the slave trade that's going up through Libya. So what I want you to do is kind of look at this map. I'm going to move my big head down a little bit. Y'all see this map? Do you find it significantly interesting that this, hold on, but wait a minute, where the slaves at? Y'all see all the minerals? Y'all see all the minerals at? Oil, the gold, and all that great stuff. You find it interesting that there don't seem to be much of that stuff in the Western world. There don't seem to be a lot of it. So let's look at a map and see. I don't know if I can overlay. Let's look at a map of where is most of the slavery happening in the world. Oh my God. Oh, hold on. Let's put it over here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Y'all see that? Y'all see why that slavery happened? You think it's a coincidence that all that slavery is happening where all them minerals is at? Because y'all got behind people and y'all clap, dance, and sing. And man, I don't want to say any names, but y'all start clapping. Oh, the great day, Jubilee. Y'all just clapping, having fun. And all of your leaders, all of them, they don't give two damns about any of you. And you want to talk to me about who you're going to run? Hold on. So anyway, we're talking about the slavery that literally is flowing out of Libya. Not the slavery that's happening all the time. It's happening simply because African. We keep going back to African. Why is African there? Well, African is there because a whole bunch of people clap for somebody because of the color of his skin. They put him in office, and because he had a certain skin color, he could roll out a military to ensure that all the African corrupt governments stayed in place so they could yank all the resources out. Before that was another president who couldn't really touch Africa because he didn't have the right skin color. So they were just nailing South America and Colombia and Venezuela and down there and all their minerals. And then they were hitting the minerals in the Middle East. And so it's all about resources. It has nothing to do with you. They don't give a damn about your religion. They don't give a damn about your race. They don't give a damn about anything that you actually care about or they even talk about. They're psychopaths. They know that you care, so they talk about it to get your vote, get your support, get your sign, start donating money to the different efforts. And the stark reality is hopefully, this is why I'm smiling a little bit, because I think people are starting to realize in this world there are only colonies and colonizers. Hopefully, I forgot who said that, but it was a real deep statement. There are only, every issue in this world, every significant issue, like I said, it's not, for me, it's not politics. I don't give a damn about none of your politics. That's a waste of my time. It's all about colonies and colonizers. And what is the best way to colonize a whole damn continent? Well, of course, with drones, but you make sure that you have somebody who fits in that group. Somebody that can get all kind of trust from those types of people, and they won't question anything they do. That's what I'm saying. It's a tough one. I posted a little video this morning. Y'all should watch it. It was called something about the real reason why they took out Gaddafi. And for some of y'all who don't know, you should watch the video. The main reason they took out Gaddafi, the main reason he's such a bad dictator. He's doing all of this horrible stuff to his people that America doesn't do to its people every damn day. Why is he such a bad guy? Why did they sick their pit bull on him of the right color? Why they sick him? Because Gaddafi was about to roll out a single gold-based dinar currency for the entire continent of Africa. Do you know what would have happened if that had happened? What had happened? If they would have rolled out a gold-based currency for that continent with all those minerals, y'all see all those minerals right there? Do you have any idea that that continent right there would become more significant than the Middle East? That continent right there has more minerals, gold, special precious metals they need for drones and all the high-tech satellites. Do you know that they need that? If that country, if Gaddafi actually got everybody together on that initiative in Africa, Africa would be one of the wealthiest countries in the world. They would surpass China, the Middle East, and of course the United States. And you know they can't let that happen. Oh, hell no. We got a world to dominate, y'all. They're not going to let nothing like that happen. And so Gaddafi, that was the path he was going. And so, of course, what came next? You find somebody that can do some murder. Murder. And so that's what they did. They took him out, destabilized Libya, and it was an unfortunate side effect. Unfortunate, very, very public side effect in a country in the Middle East, in Libya, and places where they actually have cell phone cameras, and they started filming slaves. And so, like I said, every now and then the matrix a hiccup, and you can actually see what's actually going on. But when the hiccup comes, you gotta trust it. You gotta trust the hiccup. So let me go back, and there were a few fun little clips from this compilation. If you listen to some of the stuff Gaddafi was talking, like, he actually cared. He was probably a sick 1%er psychopath, but he actually cared. Susan said the UN, nope, UN's not gonna do anything. European Union, they're not gonna do it. They can't do anything because they need all these minerals for their weapons. If they give up the mineral flow from these countries heading over there and up there to these big corporations that go to the United States, that make the drones, the cruise missiles, the bombs, the ships, the aircraft carriers, the jet fighters, if they actually go against the colonization efforts against Africa or South America, their countries will disappear, quite literally. And so this is why I'm smiling. I'm happy because it's so, the Matrix, it didn't really coughed up some slavery. It was like going like some slavery fell out of his mouth, and people actually can see it now. So hopefully, maybe, possibly, we have the fuel that we need to witness the end of the what do they call it? The I guess y'all call them political parties, but the arms of the mafia that are taking over the whole damn world, that run the UN and EU. I think they said since the conception of the UN, there were 65 wars that they did not prevent. That Gaddafi said that. And why would he say that? Because he knows what's going on. He knows this is all about minerals and world domination and colonization. Sister Kim said, yes, the truth is critical. If he's laughing, I want to see it, so it's on my face. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, you just reminded me of something. No, I'm not going to apologize. I was about to say I was going to apologize. I'm not apologizing. So, so the mass murdering, mass raping dude from yesterday, I didn't know his name. I don't want to know his name. I don't care to know his name. From Yugoslavia, who they put on trial, and he threw back the lemon juice. Well, it turns out it wasn't lemon juice, y'all. All right, I'm not laughing. It's never funny when people dies. It's not funny, but it can be just. And, you know, when there's a saying that goes, if you live by the sword, you die by the sword. When you start making deals with, all right, hold on. I believe some weird stuff. I believe that we don't know a damn thing about this planet, about energy, about spirits and gods and aliens, whatever y'all want to. I don't think we know anything. Quantum physics. I think we're just now discovering how dumb we are. I believe that when you start making deals with some of the most evil things, when you start extinguishing human life, I think that you tap into stuff that we know nothing about, stuff that the ancients gave us inclinations into, and I don't know, some people call them demons, bad spirits, karma. I don't know. I don't get into that because I don't know the details. I know that when you start murdering people, it always comes home. When you start joining up people murdering people, it always comes home. And some of y'all, talk about how Charles Manson, he was a good guy quietly. I mean, he said some deep stuff. He did some stuff that surprised me. But the fact of the matter is, if you set into course actions and events that end in the murder of human beings, something's coming for you. Something's coming for you. And I don't mean to scare y'all who are still cheering on these murder efforts around the world. I'm just saying, be careful, because we don't know how any of this stuff works. They're not down there killing shamans and the indigenous people in South America just for their pharmaceutical knowledge or their knowledge of plants. They're down there doing it because those people know a whole lot of stuff. They didn't burn the Library of Alexandria because, we knew everything. No, they wanted to get rid of some documents. They're not out there raiding the pyramids. Y'all remember the pyramid video? They did the pyramid video. There's a big gaping space in the pyramid the size of a 747. And you mean to tell me they haven't dug into it and found out what it is? Of course they have. There's something in there. There's stuff that we are not privy to because we're the 99% dummies that keep fighting with each other because you grew up in a different place. You won a different birth lottery. And so you got different solar energy. So your hair looked like this, your eyes look that, your skin is this, or you're this religion. And you're too lost, dumb, crippled, stupid, and crazy to realize it's just a birth lottery. Why in the hell would you trade a world to the 0.01% because you were born in a certain place to some people and you forgot who you were a part of, what species you actually are? You're not in the psychopath species, people. Anyway, I don't know. I went down a tangent on that one. No, Lynn, I don't believe in coincidences either. I don't. And that's why I'm saying I don't think they brought all this talk about slavery back for nothing. They did this because they wanted to get the North and the South fighting, the right and the left fighting again, and everybody's yelling and screaming about some damn statues. And they got some real world slavery happening over there. And now if CNN is talking about it, it's epidemic levels. If CNN says it's what they 40-some thousand slaves around the world, it's probably got to be 40 million. I don't believe none of that. In fact, I don't know. I'm not going to say that. It's too much. Too much. You say too much, you get in trouble. I try not to say too much. But it's extremely obvious. I want to see what y'all are talking about because I'm off here getting down in my stuff. Yes, everything, Susan, is colonies and colonized. And this is why I like talking with y'all. Because when we can talk about things from a certain perspective, they make a lot more sense. When we talk about things through the right lens, then you can actually see clearly. And so when you look at the world news and what's happening, And even when you look at like national news sometimes, I really don't pay too much attention to the whole national news. But when you look at these things, it actually makes sense. People are fleeing these countries down here and these countries over here and some of the countries up there because they are a colony. Why in the hell would you want to stay in a country where your daughters are getting raped, where your wives are getting raped, where murderous bands are running around the country destroying everything because groups in America actually voted for some monsters in government, every single administration, to make sure that the colonies stay destabilized, that they kept people in the fourth world, that they kept people in the third world, so they can't industrialize, so they can't defy anything. Speaking of that, you know, the North Korea conflict is over. I'm going into a tangent, but I don't know where this ever goes. I just drink my coffee and we get into silly stuff. I read your comments. The North Korea crisis is over. Yes. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Why do I say the North Korean conflict, all of that stuff is over? Let me show you why. This is why. It's all over. We don't have to worry about it no more.
Now, the US ambassador to the United Nations has accused North Korea of pushing the world closer to war with its latest ballistic missile tests. Nikki Haley was speaking at an Emergency Security Council summit.
Hold on. Move this out the way. I got my slavery maps. Hold on, y'all. Let me move some of my gold slavery maps. This is why the North Korea crisis is over.
The dictator of North Korea made a choice yesterday that brings the world closer to war, not farther from it. If war does come, it will be because of continued acts of aggression like we witnessed yesterday. And if war comes, make no mistake, the North Korean regime will be utterly destroyed.
I'm joined live in the studio by Samira Khan for more on this. Thanks for staying abreast of this, Samira. Rhetoric certainly not decreasing in the Security Council there. What can we take away from this meeting?
Well, the emergency meeting was held specifically to discuss North Korea's latest missile test in which they successfully launched an intercontinental ballistic missile that's capable of carrying nuclear weapons and some believe could reach Washington. But Nikki Haley echoed these concerns and even asked the international community to follow suit. She first called to essentially revoke North Korea's voting rights at the UN. But we're just paraphrasing here. Her exact words were a little bit different.
Of the Council provisional rules.
First, we should continue to treat North Korea as the international pariah it has become by taking its UN rights and privileges away, including its voting powers.
And now, Nikki Haley also urged.
Okay, so why am I saying the North Korea crisis is over? Well, first of all, because it's obvious Nikki Haley upset. That's why I know. That's why when they're smiling, y'all. When the bad guys, I know, I talk about Washington like they're bad guys, but they always are some bad guys. When the bad guys are upset, you know something significant happened. And if you paid attention, North Korea now is suspected to have the ability to reach Washington, D.C. with a nuclear weapon. It is over. The crisis is done. Nobody is going to North Korea. It is done. They're calling back. They may not have called back the aircraft carriers yet, but they're coming back. They all coming back because what was this all about? What it's always about. It's about beating up little countries, keeping them in the third world and the fourth world where they don't have nuclear weapons so you can do anything you want to them. Murder, death, kill. And so now that you got some nukes, game is over. You've joined the ranks of China. You've joined the ranks of Russia. You've joined the ranks of all the other countries that have nuclear weapons. Pakistan. We will not be going into North Korea. So can we move on? Can we just let it go? Now, anytime crazy man, what do they call him, Little Rocket Man? If his name is Little Rocket Man, what would the United States of America be called? Oh my God. Can we be Little Slavery Man? Can we be Big Slave Man? No. Can we be Big Drone Man? Can we be Twitter Man? Can we can be all types of names, but in terms of like name calling, It's anyway, it's all over. So let's don't talk about North Korea no more. Let's just drop it. It's not even an issue no more. It's a done deal. We got to move on. Talk about important issues. North Korea is not one. No troops will ever set ground in North Korea. The only thing that might, no, I don't even think they're going to kill him. I was thinking about Gaddafi for a minute. No, they're not going to kill him. They're not going to kill him. And this is why they aren't going to kill him. Because I forgot who the author was. My mind, it just does what it does. But I posted a while back. There was an author who went inside of North Korea, and what he was able to orchestrate is how North Korea is divided up in terms of ownership or who's running the country. The country has so many layers of control, it doesn't matter who you kill. There's all types of other onion layered groups that bubble to the top. So you can kill the leader all you want. And you think people are going to run and dance in the street? No, they have multiple layers of other people lined up, ready to go, who will kill the other people if they ever think about some freedom or something. So North Korea is a done deal. It's all over with. It's done. You can kill anybody you want at the top. It's not going to fall apart like Libya. You're not going to destroy an African one currency. All you're going to do is get a new leader, and with the same nuke, it's over with. They now will be welcome to the table of the UN and the EU and all the other lying groups that just all the other little 1% shield groups. So let's keep moving. So, but anyway, all this talk about slavery and Libya, it makes you want to think about how all of this happened. How did we end up in such a place where we had open market slavery? Why did they go and get rid of Gaddafi? And I posted this phenomenal work I want y'all to pay attention to. I want y'all to watch, but I'm just going to show you a few little clips here and there. Gaddafi, up them in notes. Gaddafi wasn't such a bad guy. I'm going to kind of take you to a few spots. And I know you're going to, some people will get upset because they're still in this mindset where they think some of these presidents actually gave a damn and they weren't just hired. We're going to go to, this is one of my favorites. Y'all can recognize this one. This is one of my favorites. We're going to shoot over to right. I think it's right here. Right about there.
I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
We're some human beings, damn it. That's the only thing I'm going to change in that. Not I'm a human being. We are some human beings, damn it. You got to get mad. If you don't get mad, you don't have any fuel to actually change anything. If you're running around here preparing for Christmas, drinking your pumpkin lattes, happy, go lucky, and not thinking about that our whole economy is propped up on this, then you are as bad as those who went and refused to be as progressive as Robert E. Lee and get rid of his slaves and walk away from a lifestyle based on cotton because you live a lifestyle based on gold. So step one is you got to get mad. Step one, you don't get angry, yell and scream, run in the street and protest. Again, I got friends that, they think it's time for a revolution. No, it is not. You go ahead and run in the streets of Washington and see what happens to you. Now is it time to shut the hell up and pay attention and talk and try to figure out what really happened to our world. Because how can we build a better world if we don't even know what happened to the world? So that's the first little piece I want to take you to. Now I'm going to take you to another little piece. Now this part we're going to get a little mad. Y'all going to get a little mad, but it's okay. It's just, we just putting some truth out there. And you go with the truth, and wherever that leads you, then you stand on it. Some people already like, I ain't going to watch this. He going to say something about, I ain't going to watch this. Yeah, that's okay. You'll be okay. It's just true.
George Bush and Dick Cheney must hear, loud and clear, from the American people and the Congress, you do not have our support and you do not have our authorization to launch another war.
You don't.
But I want to ask you about something you've been involved with. You said that if the President of the United States had launched an attack on Iran without congressional approval, that would have been an impeachable offense. Do you want to review that comment you made? Well, how do you stand on that now?
Yes, I do. I want to stand by that comment I made. The reason I made the comment was as a warning. The reason I don't say those things lightly, Chris. You've known me for a long time. I was chairman of the Judiciary Committee for 17 years, or its ranking member. I teach separation of powers in constitutional law. This is something I know. So I got together and brought a group of constitutional scholars together to write a piece that I'm going to deliver to the whole United States Senate, pointing out the president has no constitutional authority to take this nation to war against a country of 70 million people unless we're attacked or unless there is proof that we are about to be attacked.
Oh my goodness. So this is why I love it when people get old, because they say stuff and every now and then the truth will slip out their mouth. So there is absolutely no ability for a president to take us into war. This is none. This is Dirty Joe, y'all. I don't know if y'all know Dirty Joe. I won't go into the history of Dirty Joe. I've been dealing with Dirty Joe a long time. He came out of that legal industry. He wrote a whole bunch of legislation that made domestic violence against women a thing again. It made murder, spousal murder, a thing again. No, I know. He wrote the law, Violence Against Women's Act, which had the exact opposite effect, but we can talk about that at a later time. He might be the next president, y'all. So why is it good to talk about the truth and listen to the lies? Well, because obviously that president started wars like the other president. Now, they were a little heartless wars. They were a little slightly heartless, you know, because you didn't put troops in on the ground. The good thing about troops in on the ground is you actually, well, it's no good thing about that. But one of the side effects are the troops come home and they're just like, they're lying. They're lying. We ain't doing nothing. Y'all should. Oh, I posted a video yesterday. Y'all need to watch this soldier. I'm going to tell you, you want to support the troops, listen to the troops. That's number one. You want to support the troops. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to anybody else. Go ask the troops. I posted this video. I think she was in the Navy. Oh, she just laid them out. She in 5 minutes. Not like me. I'm long-winded. I'm gassy. I like to talk and try to figure things out and discuss. She laid it out in 5 minutes in her very first video that we are all being played. Talk to the troops. But these cats, last administration, they didn't send troops in on the ground because the troops come back and tell on people. They're like the little kids that come back. Ooh, I'ma tell. So they didn't send no troops. They just sent the drones and the bombs and murdered a whole bunch of people. And just when the reporters and people showed up to get people out of the rubble, they do what's called a double tap. They send the next drone with the next set of bombs to make sure you murder everybody, all the witnesses too. So these people were particularly heinous. And so I'm not saying names on purpose. I try to, when you say the names of presidents, it hits that identity politics and that mental illness. So I'm not saying the names, you see the pictures, but these are what these cats are up to. And if you can finally swallow and accept the hardcore, cold-hearted evil that these people support, maybe you can find it in your heart to think that maybe nobody around them is decent either. You know, speaking of decent, damn it, I forgot about this one. RT. So in Russia racism news, so RT, Russia Today, they lost their, what did Congress vote on? Congress voted and took their, I'm deviating a slight bit because this is important. Congress voted to take away their credentials on Capitol Hill. So what does that mean? So that means that they can't go to any hearings. They can't go to anything that's happening in the U.S. government there in Washington, D.C. on Capitol Hill. They can't go to. Anytime the most evil people you know on the planet says don't listen to them, you don't listen to anybody else. Listen to them. Well, okay, I'm not going to go that far. I'll say this. You still got to listen across the board because everybody ends up lying eventually that gets some power. But if the United States Congress that has, what is their approval rating is like -2? If their approval rating is -2 because Americans are smart enough to look around and like, it's like being in a foxhole. You fighting on the side, you're in a foxhole, you look around and everybody got blood on their hands. Like, damn it, y'all got a lot of blood. Like, what are y'all up to? Like, they're up to something bad. And so Congress, their approval rating is 0. They're basically an enemy of the United States of America. And they have been for a long time. Not everyone. You got about maybe 5 congressmen that actually work for America, but the rest work for foreign governments and corporations. So anyone, think about this. I know some of y'all are still locked in this Russia did it nonsense. But if your enemy, the enemy of, okay, let's not think about that, because some of y'all, you know, if the enemy of your children, if the enemy of today, and you know the enemy of your children says don't listen to those people, that's who you need to listen to. So this war on free speech has just reached a whole new level. And this is why they wanted to list, because if you always wait for it, you'll get the answer. But this is why they wanted to list RT as a foreign agent, because now it means they could strip this away. And I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other things they can strip away too, which is why the media came out and said, oh, they just have to list as a foreign agent. It means nothing. You'll still have RT. No, it means RT will not have any coverage there. And RT is important. Why? Because they're the first ones that sit out there and they got, wait a minute, that's some bull. That's, y'all say something. So we're going after Gaddafi because he's a dictator. You got the RT guy in the back like, well, hang on. Wait, that's not true because you do it too. So, you know, and that's what you need. You need somebody when the news comes out the gate immediately to say that's some bullshizzle. And that's what they were doing. If you go back on RT before they delete it, because you know they're going to start deleting the videos. They talk about Gaddafi a lot. They talk about Libya a lot. They talk about the Russian. Oh my gosh, let me show you this. They talk about the Russian, because it's all related, y'all. All of this stuff is related. Did you know when they said Gaddafi was striking and killing his people in airstrikes, Russia can't. Maybe y'all remember this. I don't. Every now and then I check out of society because I think society's crazy and I need my sanity time. But look at this. This is what happened when they said, this is what one of the reasons that America went in to bring Libya some democracy and freedom. This is what Russia said and Russia Today said. Look at this.
An attack on Muammar Gaddafi is an attack on Libya itself. It is treason. There is no uprising in the east, only a criminal enterprise by a few hundred gangsters. They are mystifying that the United Nations cannot see that.
There's a constant refrain in this crowd. The people are happy, but Al Jazeera knows nothing.
Well, the reports of Libya mobilizing its air force against its own people spread quickly around the world. But Russia's military chief says they've been monitoring from space. And the pictures tell a different story.
According to Al Jazeera and to BBC, on the 22nd of February, Libyan government has inflicted airstrikes on Benghazi, the biggest city in the country, and on Tripoli. And according to Russia's military, they have not registered any of those airstrikes. According to them, the pictures show that nothing of that sort has been going on the ground.
Now, the tough new sanctions and Gaddafi...
Benghazi, the biggest city...
Nothing was happening. So these are the airstrikes, y'all. There's a radar picture. And this is what you cannot stand against bloody, murderous groups funded by corporations and still exist as a news network. So they're basically showing Russia satellites. So America's like, oh my God, Gaddafi is killing. No, not Gaddafi. Wasn't that Gaddafi? Gaddafi is killing people. And oh, we got to take him out. He's got airstrikes happening all over. In the meanwhile, they're showing pictures of people dancing in the streets like, yay, Gaddafi, we love you. Ah. You know, and then Russia is releasing satellite footage showing and radar footage. There's nobody in the sky. It's not a damn airplane in the sky. But no, America, oh, they're killing people. They're killing. We got to go save the children. We got to get together. And we just, Americans, dumb and lost because we believe the news. We believed all of it. So we pat our girls and boys on the butt and go send them off to fight, murder, bomb, destroy, kill Gaddafi. And come to find out, it's all a lie. They done had it in for RT for a long time. RT, you know what? Somebody posted, who was it? Sister Lynn talking about, yes, they have tons of American independent journalists. I was listening to Lee Camp. If you don't follow Lee Camp, y'all gotta listen to Lee Camp. That brother is on it. He is, and he's hilarious too. Sometimes, you know what? I listen to him sometimes. He almost made me crash my car on a couple of occasions. So, but listen to that, brother. So what he kind of explained, he's like, listen, I'm American. I live in America. You know, I eat apple pie. His relatives are American. Like his father had something. Oh, I'm gonna start lying. I'm not gonna say it. I think I posted it, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Somebody will post it in the comments. But Lee explained these are American journalists and American. And Brother Lionel, he's another commentator. He was talking about how He said, I go and he does journalism for RT, and he says, I go and I work with all these other different news agencies, NBC and CBS and CNN and Fox and all the rest of. He says, you get there, they want to know what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, when you're going to say it, why you're going to say it, go through it, critique it, okay, maybe you can say this, don't say this, stay away from that. And he says, my whole time at RT, he said, nobody even asked me what I'm going to say. He posted it, he was talking about it yesterday. I just basically talk, and they just let me talk. And why does that make sense? And I know some of y'all are sitting back there and you're saying, well, but they're funded by Russia, some of y'all are still locked in your Russian racism. And how does that make any sense? Well, Russia's just as corrupt as America. They just don't have as much power with the 0.01% as America. So, but it's in Russia's interest to have people in America talking with free speech, right? So Russia, the enemy of your enemy, if they're really enemies, and any of this is true, because it all could just be BS, we're in the Matrix and we just like steak, that's another story. So, but it's in the interest of Russia, if they actually are our enemy, to have free speech in our country. Why? Because free speech in a country that's totally corrupt actually changes the corruption, which will give them a little time to gain power. So it makes sense that Russia would actually fund free speech in America. And that actually is what's going on. That's why I say I listen to Russia Today all the time, but you can already start to see, and I'm paying attention, they have less and less news reports. Every single day, they're having less and less news reports. And I think it has to be a direct effect on how this all can break down a media corporation. Why? So that the next murder, death, kill they come up with, when they want to go into Congo and get some slavery going again, they don't have anybody to defy that. And from my perspective, and I try to say things really, really nice. I try to put them I try to package them in a way that is not partial to anybody. What I want us as a people, as a human people, to actually get to a point where we are as studious to human rights as Southerners who ran the Underground Railroad. They were surrounded by people who were actually paid and forced into lifestyles that required slavery by the 1%. It wasn't like everybody in the South liked slavery. The vast majority wanted nothing to do with it. But to be as stand up as they were, the Underground Railroad. No, they didn't grab guns. They didn't revolt. They didn't do anything like that. They knew how to hurt slavery, and they did effectively. They started freeing slaves, and the free slaves started running north saying, hey, this is what's going on. That built up an abolitionist movement, a big one. And that actually is what ended up forcing Lincoln, a horrible, horrible human being, into actually releasing the slaves. And so this is what we need to be doing. We need to be smart as the Southern rednecks that y'all like to call them, and y'all hate on them with the Dixie flags on their truck. We need to be as smart as them and say, you know what? This slavery isn't a good idea. We shouldn't be getting behind people who are promoting it and supporting it. In a modern perspective, I need y'all to let go of slavery 300 years ago, and let's try to deal with slavery now. Because the biggest proponent of slavery right now, I'm not going to say all right, I'm not going to say that. It's the leadership in our country, and it's always been the leadership in our country. And it's not because they hate black people. It's not because they hate African people. It's not because they hate Arabs. It's not because they hate Muslims. It's not because they hate Mexicans, and it's not because they hate South Americans. It's because they love money. They love money. That's what it's always about. That's what it's always been about. And if you don't see that by now, you are the most special person, and we love you to death. We just want to hold you and kiss you and try to get some wisdom in your brain, because you just, it's not connecting. You got to eat some mushrooms or something. White mushrooms. White mushrooms, y'all. If you think the 1% in the leadership give a damn about you, your race, your religion, or any of that nonsense that you talk about every day, eat some mushrooms. White mushrooms have been shown to actually reconnect brain passageways and build up. Fungus actually does that. Crazy stuff, but it's true. It's science. Eat white mushrooms. Y'all know somebody, y'all at Thanksgiving dinner, y'all were fighting over like politics and truth or whatever. So Next time they come up, make some white mushroom. Make them a white mushroom omelet. I know. My vegans are mad at me now. They're like, he's talking about eating eggs. You know, hey. But if you can get some white mushrooms in people and you coat it in eggs, maybe we'll all become smart enough to become vegan. You didn't think about that, did you? Make some white mushrooms, yo. All right. I wanted to show you one more thing. All of this stuff is related. It's all related. But you have to get to a place where you stop believing your own BS, where you stop falling into your own indoctrination and question yourself. I question people all day long, but mostly I question me. Mostly I question me because it's extremely beneficial to put BS into people and support it up with all the fake news and build it up and make it seem like it's true and it's wrong. Anytime my friends post something, it's like, no, you're off. All right, let's deal with it. Let's look at the facts. And if it means that somebody I like, a politician, I got to turn on them, I'm going to turn on you. That's just how it goes. So I want to show you something else. Oh, this won't get me in trouble. All this stuff always gets me in trouble. And people, I don't know why you see it's funny. My friends are something else, boy. Y'all are like, I'm scared to death of my friends, y'all. Y'all are something else. Because, people who oppose the stuff that we say and we talk about now, they don't send it in, they don't put it in public. They'll send me little comments and stuff and private messages. I get some text messages, but because y'all are scary. Y'all at your facts. Y'all some scary people. But all right, anyway, I'm going to show you something. Let me show you this, and then we're going to wrap this up.
Anti-Gaddafi rebels are growing more confident and are now focusing on capturing Tripoli.
With God's will, we will win. We're going out today for this tyrant and Zionist. With God's will, it will be his last day.
This man has been investing in African development. This man has been moving throughout Africa. This man has friends all over the world. He may not be your friend, but if you take him out and kill him like he's some rotten fella that wants to kill his own people, what did you do in Waco? What did you do when your people rose up? Did you talk them out of it? No, they had weapons, you bombed them. What did you do in Philadelphia with the Move movement? Did you talk them out of their home or did you bomb them?
Let me focus on initially the issue of Libya. I want to talk about the substance of Libya because there's been all kinds of noise about process and congressional consultation and so forth. Let's talk about concretely what's happened. I spoke to the American people about what we would do.
You also took...
Okay, well, first of all, you ain't speak to me. Where my phone at? It's right here. This thing ain't ring. Ain't nobody talk to me. Don't tell me you talk to me. I don't know who you talk to. You talk to somebody else. So, and I know some of y'all like, oh, Farrakhan. Listen, get to a point where you listen to what people say. Give people time to evolve. No, I'm not a big supporter of Farrakhan. I'm not, like I said before, I'm not a big supporter of Malcolm X. And actually, to be honest with you, when they say things, I'm very scared to post them. Because I get the fact that when you say racist things, it pisses off other people. And I got friends that they've said things that piss them off. And so I'm real hesitant to post anything that, Farrakhan or Malcolm X said, because unfortunately people who look like me post it all the time. So I'm hesitant. And to be honest with you, I think that we all got to give each other space to come forward and evolve. We've all said dumb things. Malcolm X, the beginning of he was off on some rails with, but towards the end, he was like, let's work with everybody. And that's when they killed him. And the other guy, I forgot his name. But they usually end up killing civil rights leaders and other people a little extreme when they lay down their racism and they start saying everybody come to, when they lay down their genderism, when they lay down their sexism, when they lay all that stuff down, religionisms, then that's when they end up murdering people who want change. And so just listen to what he's saying. Don't try not to, So, but what he's talking about Waco, Texas. He's talking about Philadelphia. He's talking about brother Lavoy Finicum. He's talking about it all relates to the violence between police and citizens. It's all related. It's all of this same bit of nonsense that when they're done coming for everybody else, they're coming for you. Sell out. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. That's going to get me in trouble. I'll take his picture down. Damn it. That's me. I don't want to see me. But I don't know what just happened. Anyway. He said sell out. Hey, I'm just going to tell the truth and let the chips fall where they may. If you want to debate any of it, post a link, post some facts. But if you can't qualify people for the wise things that come out of their mouth, like I talk about the Bundys and we'll talk about Ruby Ridge and we'll talk about, a lot of those things weren't sensitive to what y'all would call my ethnicity and what they said they were doing, if it was even true. They said in Waco, Texas, they're raping little girls and all of this. I don't know all what's true anymore in the media. What I do know is when you have a problem with somebody, do you go talk to them or do you go murder them? Can we divide leaders up in that group? Can we, because I think that's how you divide a daycare up, right? That's how you divide up violent people versus non-violent people. When you have a problem with someone, do you murder them? Or do you try to figure out, a non-violent solution to fix a problem or to inject some prevention to keep that problem from happening? And I think wise, smart people, hold on, I can't do this. I can't do it. It's too distracting. I can't. I can't have him up there. I'm sorry. I can't. I know y'all get mad at me and you don't like our president. No, he's not my president. I didn't say nothing. Stop it. All right, let me take a quick peek and yes, Medgar Evers. Thank you, Don. But that's when they kill the civil rights. That's when they kill you. As long as you stay on your side and you dumb and ignorant as everybody else fighting on your side, saying what they want you to say, you're safe in America. They're never going to, because CIA, FBI, they love you. They love you to death. But when you start talking about coming together with the other 99% and laying down your ignorances, that's when you disappear. And there's another brother in Chicago. I forgot his name. That's when they got rid of him. Sister Lynn, putting mushrooms in your spaghetti. Thank you, girl. You make sure you put some of them mushrooms in the spaghetti and you just send them to Congress. Just go on, y'all. Send Congress send them some baked mushrooms or something. They're actually jacked up as they are. They might need some raw mushrooms. They need some immediate intervention from fungus and bring stuff back together. So anyway, let me see if I missed. There's a whole, oh man, y'all got a whole bunch of comments. There's a whole bunch of, it's hard for me to read the long ones. I try to hit the short ones. Sister Mary said, when people are forced to stay on the box, we put them, we stop listening. I'm sorry. When people are forced to stay on the box, we put them in, we stop listening. I think what you're trying to say, and I think we agree there, is when people, it's identity politics. When people say, okay, you're safe, you're this, so I can trust you. And the reality is, whenever you give someone undying trust, that's when they turn on you, which is why, gosh, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going to say it. I'm just going to say it. This is why when they get an African-American president, African-Americans, y'all need to run. You need to find a bunker and get the hell in it. And that's exactly what happened. From a police perspective, from a prison perspective, from a slavery perspective, that's exactly, they played the hell out of you. And African, from even Africa's perspective, they did you. And so my biggest fear to my Trump-loving friends is they put in someone who is a multi-billionaire who talks like he was born on a farm. If you're not connecting the dots, how that man went from, what's the show he was in? I didn't watch one episode of it. You Fired, something, The Apprentice. He went from being an intelligent talking person to sounding like he was born on a farm raising chickens. They don't raise people dumb in the South. I spent a lot of time in the South. There are no dumb people in the South. You know when you're being played too. So he's a billionaire doing billionaire stuff. I think the only beneficial thing about any president is what's different. The only possibly beneficial thing about Obama is that he wasn't corrupt going in because he was so young. He didn't have time for the good corruption to really dig in, but they got him anyway. The only good thing about Trump is he's pretty narcissistic, sociopathic, and I think that that's a different thing that you never really had tons of in the White House. You have it in all of them, but you didn't have tons of it. And I think that people actually could push that precedent if everybody got together. They could break him, or they could actually push him, because he is a sociopath, which means, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say, and this is gonna get me in big trouble, because I went down this route. But for me, again, it's about solutions. It's not about commentary. It's about solutions. How do we fix things? You have a showboat loving president. You have a sociopathic president who will do anything the majority of the American people clap for. And so while his story's not written, the last president, his story's already written. That's done. The previous president, story's written, done. But the current president, he will clap for anything all Americans come together and do. And the great thing is, because he's a showman, he does it for clapping. He does. You know how to get your narcissistic friend to buy a car. You just buy a better car, and they buy a new car. You know how this works. Don't be stupid. So if people actually stop hating so much and actually started talking across the aisle to figure out why people were so pissed off they'd rather have Trump than Clinton, then we could actually get somewhere, because then we could come together and say, that's it for war, bring all the troops home. And guess what? All the troops will come home. It gives Europe and China and other people a chance to build up infrastructure in all these other countries and bring slavery to an end. But instead, they want you to be ignorant, and they want you to yell and scream. And people still text me at 45 and all the disrespectful, hateful things they put out there, which is nothing but some reverse racism, but we're not going to get into that. So I think that if you don't take the thing that's different about presidents and push them into doing something new, nothing will ever change. And until now, it's obvious that whatever deep state, Illuminati, aliens, whatever it is that grabbed Obama and made him a special person, they got a hold of Trump too. So, but anyway, I'm gonna stop. I pushed far beyond the park. Damn it, I gotta go get my cotton bag. I'm late, master. He walking around that tree, probably like, what that nigga doing? Anyway, listen, I appreciate y'all taking time with me. It was fun talking to y'all. I appreciate your shares. It's not about anything other than getting the truth out there. The truth is, these ills are cancerous to our world. They're there because people who don't know they're supporting it are supporting it. You need to get your friends to see this. You need to get them to talk about slavery. You need to get them to evolve and become as progressive as Robert E. Lee and other people who gave up on slavery and stopped supporting and cheering it, because it's not about cotton anymore. It's about gold, minerals, and mining and resources. And until we actually come together as a human race and say we're done with this, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. So anyways, Gerard, listen, it's fun hanging out with y'all this morning. I got to go pick, man. Otherwise, damn it, they're going to put me in a hole in the ground somewhere. God bless y'all. I love y'all. Bye-bye.